I'd like to welcome you all today to our event, A Day of Sustainability. It's pleasing to see so many students and staff here who are actually interested in the sustainability of our campus. My name is Dean Jotsis, and I'm the chairman of the board of the sustainability community. I'd like to run you through quickly the program for today. So I'm going to open with a short introduction to the sustainability community, what we do, how we do it, etc. After that, I'll introduce Chris Hellinga. He's the sustainability coordinator of the TU Delft, and he will tell you about the plans that the university currently has to make the campus more sustainable. From there, we'll have a talk from Maurits Groen, and I hope this will be an inspirational and motivational talk. He's an entrepreneur and founder of WakaWaka, and it can hopefully inspire you to show you that you can be involved in sustainability, and it can even turn into a career for you. We will then go to a short discussion with Maurits, and it will be moderated by Ad van Wijk from the Green Village. From there, we will have 3 problem pitches. So these will be real problems that people connected to the TU Delft are facing, and hopefully we can, after that, find some solutions to these problems. The pitches will be made by Caroline de Wit, who is organising the IFOT, the International Festival of Technology. We also have Job Wittens, who is also an entrepreneur and wants to talk about the food production at the campus. And then finally, we have Jeroen Weishut from the Green Village, and he will talk about some problems they're facing with pushing forward their co-creation centre. So, about us. We are the sustainability community. I'm not sure, and I think probably a lot of you don't know much about us. Why do we exist? There's 2 principal reasons for that. One, we believe that universities have a responsibility to be leaders and innovators and to set an example for how we think the world should be. Of course, sustainability is an integral part of this because, quite simply, it's essential for our survival on this planet. Secondarily, we also believe that students, specifically TU students, have the ability and willingness to affect change. So we really want to give them the opportunity to do that. And we think that great things can come from this. Our mission is to bridge the gap between the university organisation and students, and also to get students actively involved. This active word is really a key for us because we've seen a lot of different things going on, but for us it's really a priority to generate real action. A short history of the sustainability community and how we came to be. We were established in 2013. A former student named Baron Dronkers saw 2 needs rather. One was to improve the performance of the sustainability of TU Delft. We were lagging behind a lot of the other universities in Holland in regards to sustainability rankings. Secondarily, we also want to we saw that there was missing coordination and collaboration between different student organisations, but also the faculties of the university. So we saw that niche there and that need to intervene. So he decided to gather all the related sustainability-related initiatives together. We sat down in a room and said, is there opportunity for us to collaborate and work together and perhaps form some kind of alliance where we can reinforce each other's efforts? This idea was, of course, met with some challenges. However, there was really a positive response from everybody involved, and hence the community was established as it is today. So, how are we going to achieve these goals? There's 4 points, as you can see. The first being supporting our member organisations. So, you will meet them shortly, but there are already a number of sustainability-related organisations who are working on real problems. So, supporting those, facilitating this kind of bi-directional flow of projects. In this, I mean getting project ideas that come from the university organisation and passing them on to students who can actively work on those. But at the same time, being open for having projects coming up from students who have great ideas and perhaps don't have the resources or are missing something to really achieve this. Thirdly, we want to, of course, initiate our own projects, and that's something that we're actually already doing, and perhaps I can tell you a little bit about that later when we're down at the Green Market. And finally, of course, events, student assistantships is something that we would really love to promote and provide. Whereby students can actually get some rewards for doing work on the campus. And finally, promoting sustainability in education. So now I'd like to invite 3 of the members from our member organisations to sign our Declaration of Intent. So the idea of this document is basically just to formalise our intentions to really cooperate together towards our common goal. So I'd like to invite quickly Marco Maloney from Ecolution. Also, Zhejuin Ding from the Energy Club. And Sandra van der Lee, I think she may be missing, but yeah, we will proceed. The other initiatives that you see on the screen have all signed already because they couldn't be here tonight. Yeah, so we will hang those on accordingly. Yeah, a little bit about the idea of what they're doing. We thought it could be really nice to have this kind of tree and this ritual that we repeat every year, whereby we again recommit ourselves to working towards this common goal. As I said, this tree will live in the Pré-de-Logé house, which is now officially our office. So myself and yeah, my four board members are working there. So yes, this tree will live there, and we thought it could be a really nice way of displaying our network and to people that pass through the Pré-de-Logé house. So finally, I'll tell you a little bit about the structure of our organisation. So as I mentioned, we're 4 people, 4 students who are working part-time on the board, and we're an umbrella organisation. So basically we're overarching the various organisations that I just showed you, but at the same time we're a mediating platform between the university organisation and the students. So yes, today we officially launch our website, and we would really love to hear your ideas, your project ideas. We will go downstairs later, of course, and you can share them there. But yeah, you're also welcome to send us an email at sustainability@tudelft.nl. And yes, we really look forward to it. I'll now introduce Chris Hellinga to tell you a little bit more about the plans for the TU Delft.
Thanks, Dean.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, hello all. Good to see such a good-filled room here. We have a lot of developments, especially in the past 1-2 years, on sustainable development here in university. And it's my pleasure to show you today some of the things that are happening now. I will talk a little bit about the campus developments, development of the real estate area, to say so. I will show shortly something about the Green Village developments, and I will say a little bit about the organization of the whole thing that's now in progress. To start with campus developments, what you see here is the picture of our power plant. I don't know whether you noticed it sometime. It's on the Leegwaterstraat. Here our heat is produced and some electricity is produced because we have a CHP plant over there. So we produce electricity while using the heat that is produced along with it. From this we feed a network over the campus, and almost all buildings are connected to this and are heated via this central utility, which offers you the opportunity to green the whole thing by applying more sustainable sources instead of the gas that we use currently. And geothermal heat is one of the options that we look at. I will show a little bit more about it. But first, I show you the progress of our energy demand of the university. Energy is, in many universities, the first thing to concentrate on if you go on the greening path of your university, because it's relatively easy to handle. But I will come back later to other developments that we pursue now as well. Well, you see here a picture. This is on the website. You can find it yourself if you type www.energymonitor.tudelft.nl. You can see all the figures about the energy use of our buildings in more detail. Well, you see that the line is still quite flat. In the end, 2030, it comes down a little bit, and that's because we took the new CHP plant into operation, so now the line is declining. But we made an appointment with the government that we should save 30% on our primary energy use by 2020 compared to 2005. So we still have to do a little bit. And that's why we made a new plan. With figures, it's always the question, how do you present them? If I show you the next picture, and I divide the energy use by the amount of students and employees in the university that has grown with 25–30% in the past years, then you see that the lines are more optimistic, but still we have to cover this big challenge we still have. So what did we do? We made an analysis of things that are in progress yet. That's real estate development. That's renovation projects. Some 30% of the big buildings will be renovated before 2020. New buildings will become available, the big CHP unit. And if you make the calculations, you end up with, well, quite some energy savings, but not enough to get these goals. So we added new things that we will do. We will put LED light in the buildings. We will look at ICT, other things. And we think that we can come up with a realistic, almost prediction that it must be able in 2020 to have 50% CO2 reduction, to have 40% savings on primary energy use, and we want to generate at least 25% of our energy use in a sustainable way. The board has approved this, the board of university, and so now it's the assignment to the real estate department and people like myself to get this in progress and have this job done before 2020. Well, you saw this board, I guess, before the Aula, the conference center. One of the first projects we took up is the installation of quite some solar panels on our campus, 10,000 square meters. It's one of the bigger projects in the Netherlands at the moment, but the world is changing soon in the direction of solar PV. I saw this morning in the newspaper that Utrecht doesn't install 4,500, but 6,500. So, anyway, this is a big project, and it's a good indication, I think, to the whole university that we really have now focus on these type of developments. In extension, starting from this project from the TU Delft, we made assignments with the city. I don't know whether I can, no. To the right hand, you see the alderman for sustainability of the city. Next to him, you see the director of the real estate department here. The other guy with his fist is the director of Current, which is the most sustainable energy supply company in the Netherlands. And we signed an agreement that we start a project here called Delft Solar City, where we offer inhabitants of the city to buy their solar panels on the roof of other people. You see this now happening in more places in the Netherlands, but we made an organization around it. Duo is on board, so the student flats on the campus will be used for it. And also the city approaches companies and their own buildings to see whether a roof can be made available for private investments and people generating their own energy. This is becoming a big project, and we would have had a stand downstairs, but we did not succeed today to organize it so fast. But we need students for this to help setting it up. Here's something about greening our heat supply. This is the old situation. Big gas boilers, a CHP unit, which delivers about 30% of our heat in a reasonable, sustainable way. But we want to get rid of the gas, natural gas use over there. So we're now developing the input of geothermal energy. It's a project that runs already for years, and now we are on the front edge to see whether we can get the whole thing financed. This is the difficult thing in geothermal energy. But within some months, I hope we can give the message that we have a positive approval for that. And now you see what happens. Over the campus flows now water from 100 to 130 degrees. It comes back at 80 degrees and goes then into the central heating plant. But such a geothermal source only gives water of 70 degrees. And if you get 80 degrees back from your campus, you cannot do anything with 70 degrees. So what does this mean? That the whole campus has to be modified. All buildings have to adapt their heating equipment so that colder water can be supplied and even much colder water flows back to the source where it can be heated. And here you see what an enormous project it is. So it takes years before we have it in full operation. But if we are lucky, by the end of 2017, maybe the source is there and they will really make a statement. And this, of course, has a close connection to the research on geothermal energy that's done at the CITG department. And there are more interesting developments around here. Well, that was energy. We look at LED lights throughout university. We look on saving on ICT use. We did an experiment this year, and it seems that something like 30–40% can be saved for computers on working places. Biomass gasification is starting up, also something that can be done in the central power plant. It's in the beginning, but we have to see what we can do there. Interesting new process. People that are interested should come to me and maybe we can do together something. Really promising. We want to know better where the energy stays. We have these figures per building, but we want to know how much goes to ICT, how much goes to lighting, how much goes to research. Well, we have to improve in a smart way that it doesn't cost too much, this monitoring. Then we have major buildings renovated and a new building. You see here the impression of a new education building that's now in preparation. It will be situated before the industrial design faculty. Well, this is really now treated with a sustainable approach from the start. And that was energy. This is something different. I would like to ask you whether you have any idea what type of material is used here. But I'm afraid I cannot understand you because I have a hearing problem. So I will tell you immediately that this is a coffee, how do you say it, residue. So the coffee machines in the university, of course, produce residue, 25,000 kilograms per year with the new machines. And one of our students, where is she, Tessa? Ah, there she is working on making useful materials from it. And she succeeded to produce this material for a booklet. The marketing and communication department said, well, that's nice. We order 5,000 for PR purposes if you really manage to produce this. So this is well on track, and it's one of the first projects to also incorporate waste treatment as one of the sustainability approaches. We do this together with a small company that was raised by students that set up here the Energy Club a few years ago. They've now their own company, and they try to use waste material for creating nice products. For instance, from the national railways, they get these yellow boards that were in the station with the time schedule, and they produce, there it is. And they produce all kinds of products with it. And they have many more of these type of approaches. So this is, of course, these developments here we try to combine with interesting new companies. And I show you also a picture of a company that's located in TU Delft. It's a starter. And they have a very interesting concept, in my belief. What you see here is a radiator. But what's inside a radiator? Computers. There's no heating element over there. So the idea is, if houses in the Netherlands have these type of radiators, then we can build a distributed data center. And as you know, data centers are big energy consumers. And think of the electricity that flows to a data center. Only a few % is used for what a data center should do. That's calculation. And the rest is heat. And you have to add another amount of energy to remove the heat from the building. So here you use all the heat that is produced, let's say 90–95% of the energy that goes to such a building. You use it for heating your home. And another interesting aspect is, if you have solar panels on your roof, everyone's getting nervous about all these solar panels that come up and what to do with it in the summer months if there's not so much request locally. Well, then you have a kilowatt consuming apparatus at your wall that can be used and consumes the energy directly. So this is a very interesting concept if you think in terms of smart grids, in terms of, people like this, and we try to cooperate with them to get this more attention. One of our tasks soon starting is that we set up a sustainability plan for the TU Delft for 10 years, and then you see a long list of items that you should address. I don't know whether we address them all, we will have priorities, but here we get a structure also as a basis for sustainability reporting by year by the university. The Green Village. Ad van Wijk, sitting here in the front, and he will present himself within a few minutes, is the inspiring professor behind this project. He has also a history as entrepreneur. And what we are developing here is a village on the other side of the road, the green area next to the CITG faculty, where we will have an inviting area for companies, small ones, big ones, and scientists to work together on innovative, sustainable developments. So what we try to do here is connect business with science, with the things that determine whether you can really apply these things, legislation, government, and the general public should also be able to experience what new technology means. So it's also an experience area. The latest developments from the university and from outside parties will be shown there in connection to each other. You plug something in and see how it functions in the overall system, and you can experience what it means for yourself. You saw this car outside. This is one of the examples of the projects that we run over there. The idea behind this car, this is one of the first 7 cars that Hyundai sold in the Netherlands with a hydrogen propulsion. The idea is, if you have an irregular car, you have a limited driving distance, and you have especially a long charging time when you need to recharge it along the highway. Such a car has much more energy on board. You can drive 1,000 kilometers with it, and you fill it in a few minutes. So these are typical advantages which makes it reasonable that at least a part of our future cars will have systems like these. And now the interesting thing is overthink that. Then these cars drive on the roads at least 5% of the time. 95% of the time they stand still somewhere. They have an enormous amount of energy on board, which they carry through the country. So if you think about compensating the fluctuations in wind energy and in solar energy, then such cars could play a role there in providing homes and other facilities with energy. And that's exactly what we investigate here from a technical point of view, from an organizational point of view, etc. So the car that you saw before the door will be different from the other 6 Hyundai cars in the Netherlands because it also gets an electricity output that we can use the hydrogen for supplying the Green Village buildings to start with energy and then study the whole system. Well, this was already mentioned by Dean. This is the first building currently on the Green Village area, but we expect that in the coming 1 to 2 years more buildings will appear, which is also the housing for the sustainability community at the moment. But we try to extend the sustainability community with staff members from the university, then build a green office. The board of the university will soon decide upon this. And from this kind of front end of the university, if you want something, you have ideas on sustainable development, that's typically where you go and where you discuss it and where we together see what the openings are to get things running. And of course, apart from the Green Village interaction, the campus developments and science and education is also the interaction that we pursue. Now, a lot to do, and we need a lot of people. Downstairs, after this meeting, you can come to us all and see whether you can contribute in one way or another. Thank you.